says, verse number 190, 191. Read that. Upadi sambandha vasat paratma upadi dharma nanumati tadguna ayo vikara navikari vanhivate sadeka rupo viparasvabhavat Sishyo vache brahmena pyanyatha vastu jiva bhava paratmana tadupadheranaditvat nanadirnasayishyate atosya jiva bhavopi nitya bhavati samsruti nanivarteta tanmokshah katham me Shri Guru vada. Right, so you saw through the whole bondage now, how the because of the upadhivasat, Paramatma, that which is the self, the absolute, free from time, space and objectivity, identifying with the upadhi, drags the upadhi onto itself. How does it happen? Because of ignorance, and the ignorance burn ahankara, the I thought. Understand ignorance. When you say ignorance, as I told you the other day, ignorance by itself is not a problem. I am ignorant, that is the problem. That's why I, ahankara, I thought. That is the supreme most, that one thing you understand clearly, all other things fall apart. The I is literally the kingpin. Literally the bull in the china shop, as they say. Without the sense of the individuality, there is no sense of bondage, struggle, freedom, anything. Where else do you see struggle in this world? The whole creation is so blissful. In fact, that is why the Upanishad will say, Dhyayativa samudra, dhyayativa parvata, ocean is in meditation, mountain is in meditation, whole creation is meditation, only human being in agitation. Among the human beings also, not all human beings in agitation. Children are not agitated. Sleeping person has no problem. Only when you are awake and a strong sense of individuality, then only agitation. So therefore, should you stop our individuality? No, you cannot stop, because that is a part of your growth. The price that you have to pay for your growth is loss of innocence. You have to identify with your body. There is no choice. There is no choice. The person grows up with the idea, Dehoham, I am the body. And when this ahankara becomes very strong, as in time passes, the ahankara, the I thought, that is the time the person must understand the meaning of the word I. So, effortlessly the I loses itself in collecting all other ideas about everybody else and everything else except about himself. Because you take for granted. You take yourself for granted. You do not believe in something. You don't believe in a God, you don't believe in a creation, you don't believe in secular or religious thing, you don't. So many things you don't believe in. Everything you question. Come here, why should I do that? Everything you question. When it comes to the individual himself, never questions. You understand? It's such a, almost like a spell. You question everything except the questioner. The questioner is never questioned. Just like, you saw the example. How it happens? Ayognivate. Like the fire and the iron. In the fire, is Anyonya Tadatmya. When you say, I am the body, this I brings two things together. It brings always everything together, but never questions itself. It is just like the example they give is in a marriage function. The bridegroom's party and the bride's party. There are so many imposters go there. Many people uninvited get cross into the party. Why? Because the bridegroom side are worried. Maybe that fellow is from bride side. And the bride side is people are worried, maybe it's from bridegroom side. Because suppose you say something and you'll disturb the bridegroom side or disturb the bride side. So both of them do not question the stranger. But suppose it so happens after marriage and everything is over, two sides are sitting down together and now this fellow is going. And somebody points out, and who is he? The moment he sees he is the subject of enquiry, will he stand there? Run. Vicharahina Jivana. Very nicely, Vichara Sagara says very beautifully. Even Ramana Maharshi also says, Vicharahina Jivana. As long as the investigation has not started, it continues. Once investigation has started, it crumbles like a Dhavatiyayam Ahankara Pisacha. This ghost of an I starts running once you start inquiring on it. That is why you can enjoy the pleasure of questioning everybody and everything. But the greatest pleasure in questioning is when you question the questioner. You question yourself, this I. Because it brings two things together. Just like the guest confuses both the sides. Literally enjoying the hospitality of both the sides. This I thought also brings two things together. Puts both the sides and put both the hands and enjoys himself. Putting hand on both the sides. I thought brings two things together. The mortal body and the immortal self. With a simple statement, I am the body. Two things together. The immortality of the self is imposed on the body, and the mortality of the body is imposed on the self, the absolute. That is why you can see the universal trend. Nobody ever believes that he is going to die. Always every dying man will say, I have a strong faith. I shall survive. Naturally, because you are immortality. And nobody ever believes that he is old. Nobody, even the oldest man will not accept his old age. The dying man will not accept his death. Because you are ageless, deathless. Because you are ageless, you are deathless. But from which standpoint? Not from the standpoint of the body. That is why when you see yourself, you see I as the ageless, deathless, body as aging and dying. So do not overlap. See everything as it is. That is the liberation. That is how the person is free. Having also said that look at this. Be yourself. Be the meaning of the word. Remember that statement. Aham pratyaya gochara. Meaning of the word. Having told this, now the path of, now he talks about the Shishya. Now the disciple asks a question. After listening to all this, after a long time, he asks a question. What is the question? Brahmena va anyatha vastu. Jiva bhava sanatana. Jiva bhava paratmana. Tadupadher anaditvat. Anadher nasayishyate. He says, Brahmena va anyatha vastu. It doesn't matter whether by mistake, by delusion, or by some other reason. Paratmana jiva bhava, Paratma, the supreme, limitless, infinity, absolute, has taken himself to be jiva. individual, connecting. Why? Because you say, tadupadehe anaditvat, anaderna nasayishyate. This identification takes place because of the ignorance, Brahma. And this upadhi, anadi, ignorance is, anadi means adina vidyate, beginningless. Body is beginningless. And body is beginningless means this identification is beginningless. Ahankar, I thought you say, is beginningless. Everything is beginningless. Your ignorance also is beginningless. Logically, if you say anything that begins ends. Adyantamata, adyantavate. If anything has a adi, beginning, it also ends. If you say ignorance is beginningless, naturally it will be endless. Because anything has a beginning, ends. That is the logic of the student, naturally. That is why he is a student. Because he doesn't know there are many things which may be beginningless but comes to an end. There are many things which are endless, as a beginning but endless. The solid logics are there. You want to listen to that? Okay. Solid. Then I don't know how this, that's why Upanishads, when you study, you start wondering, how on earth they found all these things, Everything beginningless, not necessarily endless. Anything that is beginning does not necessarily end. But usually, very simplistic statement, anything that beginning must end. Anything that is beginningless is endless. No, not necessarily true. Anything that has a beginning, not necessarily ending. Mostly they end. But there are certain things which has a beginning, doesn't end. And there are certain things which are beginningless, but it has end. But there is only one thing, yourself, beginningless, endless. That is self. Self is beginningless, endless, ever existing, infinite. There is nothing other than it. But there are many things which has no beginning but ends, like ignorance. Ignorance has no beginning. But it comes to an end. In one example, you can see both. And there are certain things which ends, which begins but doesn't end. You look at a pot. Take this example. If you don't understand, ask me, I'll repeat it. Take a pot. Pot is made out of clay. Okay, the pot is made out of clay. Suppose you pick up a piece of clay. Do you see a pot in it? Just pick up a clay. Do you see a pot in it? So the pot is non-existent in the clay. The pot now is non-existent in the clay. When did the prior non-existence of the pot begin in the clay? They call it prag-abhava. Prag-abhava means prior non-existence. When did the non-existence of the pot begin in the clay? Can you say? Beginningless. Why? The possibility is beginningless. Even though it is beginningless, that possibility comes to an end the moment pot comes. Are you getting that? So the possibility of non-existence is that prior non-existence of the pot is beginningless in the clay, but it comes to an end. Are you getting that? Okay. Now, the pot is broken. Now you see the pot? Yes. Now pot is broken and mix it up with the clay. Now when the pot is broken, the posterior non-existence of the pot started. When you break the pot, as long as the pot is existing, it is existing. When you break it, its non-existence started. Right? When you break it, its non-existence started. So the non-existence of the posterior non-existence of the pot started. Where does it end? It never ends. It continues. Are you getting that? How solid is the example? So everything beginningless, not necessarily endless. It's like that. Ignorance also beginningless. But it has an end. Do you know Kolatha? Oriya language I am asking. Kolatha. Those of you who don't know Oriya, you say, what shall I say? I don't know. I don't know. When did ignorance begin? When you asked. If I asked your ignorance begin, before my asking, what was there? Knowledge, huh? No. Ignorance is, but you are not aware that it is. Beginningless. It is red gram. Oh, all right. What is the O? Knowledge takes place. You know. So it comes to an end. So now the student asks, Anaditvat, anadehena nasayishyate. If it is beginningless, it cannot end. Therefore, ataha jiva bhavopi nitya bhavati sansruti. So since ignorance is beginningless and therefore beginningless thing can be endless, jiva bhava, even this idea of limitation, nitya bhavati sansruti, so it will be permanently on migration, transmigration, and it will not be freed from the bondage. Nanivartate, he cannot be free. Tan moksha katham bhavet guru vada, Sri Guru. Oh, revered teacher, please tell, how is the moksha possible? How is the freedom possible? Because ignorance never comes to an end. Therefore, the jiva bhavana will not come to an end. How do you say it will be coming to an end? Because what is asking is not asking about the ignorance. And what is ignorance? Karana sarira. That is how the question will be. That's the introduction. So, what is this ignorance? How do you think it will come to an end? Guru now says, Samyak prishtam toya vidwan savadhanena tat srunum pramaniki bhavati Brantya mohita kalpana Brantim vinatva sangasya Nishkriyasya nirakrute Nagate tartha sambandha Navaso nilata divate. Now the Guru says, Samyak prishtam tvaya vidwan. Hey vidwan, tvaya samyak prishtam. You have asked, hey learned one, you have asked the right question. You are thinking that if it is beginningless, how will it be endless? How will it come to an end? Savadhanana sunu. Very carefully listen. Pramaniki na bhavati bhrantya mohita kalpana. This mohita kalpana, understand. Think. Pramaniki na bhavati bhrantya mohita kalpana. Bhrantya. Because of your ignorance, this mohita kalpana, this delusion that you are the body, you really cannot establish. Pramaniki na bhavati. You really cannot establish. This ignorance, in reality, you cannot establish. It is like trying to establish the darkness in the light. Can you look for darkness with a light on your head? That is how. Ignorance cannot be established. Why? Because even when you are seeing you are limited, you are limitless. Your limitation, understand, your limitation is not ever real. That's a beautiful point to be seen. Because in reality, if you are mortal, there is no question of your becoming immortal. Body is mortal. Your identification is mistake. That is why moha kalpana. It's a delusion. Even when you are deluded, you are the absolute. That is why when the student is miserable, the teacher is absolutely happy. Like Krishna and Arjuna also. Arjuna was so miserable. Gandivam, sansate, hastat, everything falling from his hand. And Arjuna, Krishna start, prahasanniva bharata, vishedantamidam vacha. After a huge smile, Krishna is starting the teaching. Why? Not that he is very happy that Arjuna is miserable. No. Arjuna doesn't see something about himself which Krishna sees. The student doesn't see something about himself which the teacher sees. It is like the man who is afraid of the snake. The other person knows it's a rope very clearly. So this mohita kalpana, this imaginary bondage, whatever the bondage is, it is something imaginary. You cannot establish the bondage. Ask the question. Please ask the question. Who is bound? Ask the question. Come on. Resolve it. Just resolve it. Make it very, very simple. Who is bound? Who feels bondage? Does your body feel bound? Does your body feel anything? Does it feel mortal, changing, dying, bound, happy, unhappy? When the hunger comes, does the body say, I am hungry? Does the body feel so? Your sense organs, do they feel anything? Understand? In your thoughts, many thoughts are there. A thought is not a bondage by itself. Only when the I says, I picks it up. Understand? And all these things you are conscious of. In consciousness also there is no bondage. Consciousness doesn't feel bound by anything. Only one thing, I thought. So who is this I who is feeling it? Suddenly, the more you analyze the word I, because, listen, the I also is a name. The flower is a name. Your sense of, listen, your sense of being has got a name called I. Do you get that English language? Yes, your sense of being. Maybe you can say that English word, you can say human being, not human becoming. You are just being. Your sense of being has been given a name called I. So can that I feel bound? That is why when you start questioning to whom this bondage begins, now suddenly the bondage doesn't exist. A student goes to a teacher. Listen carefully. A student goes to a teacher and says in so many words, I am bound. Bandhoham, I am bound. Please liberate me. Please make me free. The teacher says, okay, son, I will do it. Show me your bondage. Listen carefully. Show me your bondage, I will make you free. Now suppose you come and say, Swamiji, please make me free. What shall I do? I look at you. Your hand is tied, I will remove it. Your legs are tied, remove it. Your hands and legs both are tied, I will free it. Now you walk freely and you say, please make me free. Show me your bondage. Listen. Physically, you cannot bind yourself. Mentally, nobody can bind you, nothing can bind you unless you get yourself tied down. Listen carefully. Physically, nobody can tie you down. Physically, you cannot tie yourself down. That is why the magicians, when they say, come and tie me, I will release myself. That's not magic. Magic is tie yourself into that type of knots. You throw a rope and ask him to tie down himself. This hand, leg, backside. You cannot tie yourself down. Physically, you cannot. Physically, somebody must tie you. Mentally, nobody can influence you unless you drag it onto yourself. Think. Don't say, he told me to go to movie. Ultimately, you have to say yes. As long as you're a baby, you can be taken for granted. You can be taken for a ride, but not adult. What is your bondage? Who is tying you down? You make a habit of a food or a smoke or a drink, or they impose themselves upon you. You hold on to a word, or the word is hunting you. I am dragging everything onto myself. Now, if you are dragging everything onto yourself, to be freed, what should you do? What should you do? Don't drag. And one thing is, don't drag. Another thing is, who is this I which is dragging everything onto itself? Go to the source. Who are you? As you want so many things. Sound, taste, touch, smell, sights, everything I want. Who is this I? When you look at yourself, bondage goes away. You cannot establish a bondage. Who is bound? Body is free, thought, sense organs, everything. Only I thought seems to be getting itself tied down. When you are aware of yourself, that word I, that is your name, and it is something, not a bondage. So Brahmaniki, you cannot really establish the bondage. Bhrantim bina swasangasya, bhrantim bina asangasya, niskriyasya nirakutehe na ghateta artha sambandha. Bhrantim bina, without the delusion, without the ignorance, there is no question of asanga akriya, which is free from any type of attachment or any type of involvement, and the one who is akriya, no action, whatsoever. Na ghatayeta artha sambandha, artha, indriya artha, or whatever is seen, with that identification is not possible without the delusion. Only when you forget yourself, then only when you forget this yourself, this I, not aware of himself, this comes. But if you are aware of yourself, there is no sense of bondage. So when there is no bondage, in reality there is no bondage, even ajnana kale, even the ignorant time also you are free. Are you getting that point, please? Even when you are ignorant also you are free. When the 10th man, take that example, when the 10th man looking for the 10th man, is he not always the 10th man? Even when he is searching for himself also the 10th man? Is looking for himself also is the 10th man? Or only when he finds himself he is 10th man, before that he was 9th man? Huh? When he found himself, of course he is the 10th man. But even when he was searching for himself, he was the 10th man. That means, where is the ignorance? You understand? You cannot establish. That is why ignorance is brought in just to say, somehow you forgot. No. So ignorance is brought in. So there is no question of, that is why when the knowledge comes, ignorance goes away. In reality, there is nothing called ignorance. That is why that word Maya, Maya is very nice in Sanskrit. Yama sa Maya. That Maya, the word in Sanskrit, Ma-ya. Opposite way, Ya-ma. Ya-ma sa Maya. That which is not, that is Maya. Ya-ma, that which never exists. In fact, there is nothing called ignorance in the knowledge. It's all the time only consciousness, awareness. So, there is no question of it not going away. It is never there. What is the question of it is not going away? It is never there to be, even to be existing. So what is the question? Even when you see it, it is not there. Just like Even when you see the mirage, there is no mirage. When you see the snake, there is no snake. Misunderstanding means when you see something, that also is not there, because that is your own projection, bhanti. It's only bhanti. That is why, in reality, there is no liberation. In reality, there is no bondage for the liberation to happen. You are already free. But if I am already free, why am I feeling it? That is why ignorance brought in. When you say that, if I am already free, then why am I feeling like this? That is why, because you are under the spell of ignorance. What is ignorance? Not knowing myself. What is not knowing myself? What is the meaning of the word I? Do you understand it? Absolute and relative meanings. If you take the relative meaning to the absolute, you are bound. If you see the absolute as absolute, free. Which one is yours? You choose. Very simple. Okay. Having told this, then the teacher says, read. Swasya drashtu nirgunasya kriyasya pratyak bodhananda rupasya buddhe भ्रांत्या प्राप्त जीव भावो न सत्य है मोहापाये नास्ति अवस्तु स्वभावात् स्वस्य द्रष्टो निर्गुणस्य क्रियस्य प्रत्यग बोधानंद रूपस्य बुद्धेः भ्रांत्या प्राप्तो जीव भावो न सत्य है मोहापाये नास्ति अवस्तु स्वभावात्. Right. So, swasya drashtuhu nirgunasya akriyasya pratyek bodhananda rupasya buddhehe bhrantya jiva bhava prapte. Bhrantya, only because of the delusion. Buddhehe bhrantya jiva bhava prapte. Because of the delusion of the mind. Because this I thought, not knowing itself, coming under the spell of ignorance, you are taking yourself to be jiva. In reality, you are the drashta, swasya drashtuhu nirgunasya niskriyasya. Your own nature, which is the drashta, seer. Drashtana Drishyam bhavati, the seer cannot be the seen. Very simple simple example to work on. The seer cannot be the seen. Do you see this flower? You see the flower. Are you the flower? Do you see a donkey? Are you? Even if people call you sometimes. Understand? No, please, it's very serious. Serious? It's a joke. That's why if you are too serious, you never understand. It's a joke. When you see something, objectify something, you are the subject. Subject is not the object. Seer is not the seen. The flower is seen. Who is seeing it? Eye is observing it. So eyes are not the flower. Okay? Eyes are seen or not seen? Are you conscious of your eyes? Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because you distinctly feel, remember the verses gone before. Andhatva, mandatva, patutva dharma, andhatva, mandatva, patutva. Andha, blind, manda, dull, patu, brilliant. Your eyes in the beginning stages of your life, brilliant, like a hawk's eye. Then 30-year-old, like my missing out on words. Right. Then after some time, cataract. Oh, can't see. You see the three conditions of the eyes. So you see the eyes, right? Drashtana drishyam bhavet, seer cannot be seen. So with what do you see your eyes? Your thoughts are there. Your thoughts are somewhere, you lose it out. Thoughts are seen or not seen? Who sees your thought? My father usually tells me what I think, Swami. Can you say that? What are you thinking? Let me consult my wife. I'll ask my guru. Yes, if you are looking for a consultancy, it is not what you are thinking, whether you shall say to the people what you are thinking. For that you can consult. Certain thoughts are coming into my mind. Shall I tell it to everybody? For that you can consult. But do you consult? Tell me what thoughts are coming in my mind. Huh? But some people are nuts like that. One day a fellow came and asked me a question. Swamiji, please tell. I said, yes, but what? You know. I thought he was joking, I said, what do I know? No, you know, Swamiji, you tell. I said, tell what? You know my mind. I said, you must be real nuts. Suppose I really know your mind. You think you can sit down here? And even if I know, I should tell a lie to say that I don't know anything. Why? That will frighten the hell out of you. Imagine, that is why when you say there is a God and He is knowing everybody's mind, you know what guilt you go through inside your big brother watching? It is exactly the worst part of the communism. Like a big brother watching. I'm in front of the God and the God is knowing everything on my mind. Many people, because of fear, don't go to temple. They think God is watching only in the temple, right? Other places God can't watch. Huh? Nuts. Full nuts. So your thoughts, you only know. With what? Your eyes cannot see the thought of the flower. How do you know? Consciousness. So with what presence do you see your thought? Can't answer. Do you know why? Because if you think a name, consciousness, that thought also is seen. Can you be subtle? Like describe the silence. Don't by habit start. Sometimes people, when they listen to these things, Swamiji, same things again and again. Have you caught it? One time? Because ahankar, this I is so smart, it will be tired of everything. That is why it's tired of good practices. Tired of even teaching, it will get tired. Oh, I have heard this. I know this. Brahman, oh yeah, I know. It's like the Sardar who went to the movie. Sardarji went to watch a movie. And it's an MGM movie. You know MGM movie? Big lion will come. Ooh. Huh? The moment he comes in and this lion comes and he says, oh, I have seen this movie. He went away. Ooh, is correct. But what movie is coming, how do you know? Same word, Atma, Brahma is coming. But every time there are new explanations, dimensions. And the person doesn't listen to these things, appreciate. So, who sees the thought? Don't even say I. That's a word you are conscious of, you hear. Don't even think I. That's a thought you are conscious of. Nirguna, no guna. Nirvikara, no modification. Pratyak bodha ananda rupa. Pratyak bodha ananda rupa. everybody, this nature of everybody, Ananda Surupa, pure awareness. For this, Buddhehe Bhrantir Vina, without the delusion of this I thought, meaning I thought itself is a name, and not knowing itself, it goes on jumping into every other thought. Vina Bhrantyaha Jiva Bhava na varteti, na satya. So, Bhrantya Prapta Jiva Bhava, because of the ignorance, delusion, you have gone into the idea of you are a Jivatma, Jiva, limited. Na Satya, in reality, it is never truth. Moha paye nasti avastu svabhat. Moha paye, when the moha apaye, moha gate sati, when the delusion is gone, Bhranti goes away, avastu, no more there is delusion, no more there is identification. What goes away is identification. Body doesn't go away, creation doesn't go away. Are you getting that? Oh, there was an example in 995. He says, Nagateta artha sambandha, navata, navasa, nilota adivate. Like last verse. In the navas, you say blue sky. Blueness is the imposition on the sky. Are you getting that? Blueness is the imposition on the sky. There is no blueness, but blueness is imposition on the sky. So when you see the truth, does the blueness disappear? Does the sky disappear? But your delusion disappears. Are you getting that? Body doesn't disappear. Your identification disappears. That is a blessing. That's why you learn to live with your body, live with your mind all the time. Okay? Having told this, then he says, read. Yavad bhranti tavadeva yavad bhranti tavadevasya satta mithya jnanonjrum vitasya pramadat rajvam sarpo bhranti kalina eva Bhrantirna senaiva sarpo pitadvate yavat bhrantistava devasya satta mithya jnanonjrum hitasya pramadat Rajvam sarpo bhranti kalina eva Bhrantirna senaiva sarpo pitadvate. So how long this ignorance lasts? Bhrantehe yavat bhrantihi tavadeva asya satta. As long as there is Bhranti, delusion, that long ignorance seems to continue. That is why as long as you have got the sense of confusion, delusion and limitation, that long ignorance continues. What is the taste of your ignorance? You are aware of fear. What is the taste of your ignorance gone? You know yourself as you are. Very simple example, very simple to understand. Do you understand the meaning of the word iceberg? Yes. Why? The picture comes to your head. Suppose somebody says, iceberg. I don't know iceberg. What is iceberg? What is happening? The picture is not coming in his head. Are you getting that? When you show the picture, oh, yes. Now, what you see, listen carefully. Listen carefully. What you see, is it iceberg or meaning of the word iceberg? Meaning of the word iceberg. Can you change your perceptions like this? What you show people, don't say, I'm showing him, am I showing you hibiscus or meaning of the word hibiscus? This much you understand, the entire Upanishad is complete. This is body or meaning of the word body? Meaning of the word. These are sense organs or meaning of the word sense organs? This one I can teach and ask you. This one I can touch and ask you, show and ask you. You go to your thought, what can I do now? Do you see the thought or meaning of the word thought? Do you really see? Your memories, do you see memories, the word or the meaning of the word memories? Just see the peculiarity of it. Oh my God. Meaning of the word memories, listen, meaning of the word, please watch it, okay? If you don't get asked. Meaning of the word memories, meaning of the word memory. Which memory? Any memory. Memories. That memory, that word also must be a memory, right? Suppose you don't understand the word memory. It doesn't exist in your memory. The thought doesn't exist. Are you getting that point? Do you see memories or meaning of the word memory? Are you seeing consciousness or meaning of the word consciousness? Are you seeing or being? The seeing and being and one and the same in consciousness. That is why one word, just one word. You know, why am I telling you with so much emphasis? Please understand this and put it in your life and see whether you need anything more. To be a historian, you need more history. To be a geographer, you need it. Because even after knowing yourself, you want to get all information, read hundreds of scriptures. Nothing wrong. Thousands of words about you. Because maybe you know only few words. Atma, Brahma, Sachidananda, Ajo, Nitya, Saswata, Purana, only that much. But the 1008 names of God. Somebody one day comes and asks you, do you know Pratyagatma? You know, suppose somebody shows off Sanskrit and makes you feel rotten, eh? Do you know Nispanda? What is Nispanda? Do you know Asandigdha? Asandigdha. What is Asandigdha? Now what should you feel afraid by that? Because what he is telling you is new words, not new truth. You understand where from the confidence comes? If you have understood the meaning of one word, are you getting that point, please? Then, okay, what does it mean? You know what is Brahman? Suppose the first time you ask, what is Brahman? What is that? What does it mean? So he says, Atma. Oh, I know myself. So same word, another meaning. Okay, another word. Right. You are absolutely comfortable. But if Ahankar, is proud of you information at his disposal, oh, only 10 words. No, I don't know. You must be nuts. You are the meaning of that word. Are you getting that point, please? The word that the other person is talking, he knows your name, but you are who you are. Do you understand? Do you really understand? You understand what power you enjoy. About you, somebody has 100 information. You should be happy. Because somebody sings your glory. But how much you know about yourself? Nothing much. I know. I'm the richest man in the world. I'm the wealthiest man in the world or something. I'm the all-pervasive consciousness, immortal, absolute. I know that. Somebody says, no, you are the love itself. That must be right. You are the source of strength. Of course, must be right. You are the compassion. Yes, I'm the compassion. Because everything is, I'm the source. Are you getting that? So, it has a name called Drashta, seer. Different from seen. Listen. World seen, eyes seer. Eyes seen, thought seer. Thought is seen, don't have it say consciousness seer. They are seer and seen both lose itself. Like eyes is seer, eyes are seen. Two things are together. Eyes are seer. You want a little more interesting stuff? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, it's so sweet. Listen. Only from the body standpoint, seer and seen, two things can be in one place. But outside, it can be only seen, inanimate object. Where is my flower? See. This can only be seen. Can it ever be a seer? The gross physical universe, live human beings or the animals. Gross physical universe can only be always seen. They can never be seer. Are you getting that? Okay. Eyes are seer now. Now eyes can be seer, eyes can be seen. Because from the standpoint of the thought. Now thought is the seer. Thought can be seen. Thought can be seen by whom? Yourself. You cannot say anything because, listen, if you say seer, that becomes a thought. So that one is an eternal seer. The seer who sees everything, but you can't name it. The world is the seen. In between, seer seen, seer seen. Are you getting that logic? Did you get that logic or not? Shall I repeat? Okay. I will repeat. I am happy to repeat. Now, this is laddu. You know that? This is the sweetest things. If you hear, you don't, it's, the greatness is not telling a joke. The greatness also is in conveying it. When somebody sees it and laughs, then the fellow who cuts the joke also feels good. Suppose I tell a joke and you say, oh, I am dead. What an audience, waste. Same thing. This is, please see. Creation is permanently seen. For the timing, just leave apart the body, human beings and the animals. Because you can see and they can be seer. They can see you also. So they can be seer. But flowers, the whole creation, mountains, minerals, stars, planets, galaxies, you can see. But can they be seer at any time? Cannot be seer. So they are permanently seen. So see, one whole realm, external physical universe, come under the category seen. Drushya. Permanent drushya. Okay. Body comes under drushya. But because the eyes, it becomes the drashta. Are you getting that? With the eyes. So it is not only drushya, it is also drashta. It is not only seer, it is also seen. Are you getting that? Now, if you look at your thought, they see the condition of the eyes. So the thoughts are seer behind the eyes. But the thoughts are also seen. So the gross eyes can be seer and the seen. Thought also can be seer and I thought sees it. Seer and seen. Okay? Seer and seen. Consciousness, you are conscious of the thought. So when it is seen, it is seen. Because it sees, it's seer. Now, what about consciousness? Can you call it seen? Can you call it seer? Listen. In the absence of anything to see, what shall you call it? Can it be seer? Consciousness. Are you getting that point, please? Listen. Like the sun illumines. In relation to illuminate, listen, sun illumines. Because in relation to the illumined, sun is illuminator. Suppose there is nothing to illumine. Can you call it illuminator? It is illumination. Are you getting that? In the same way, in relation to thought seen, you say, as though consciousness is seer. But can you really tell it seer? But the moment you name it, it is seen. The thought is, name is seen. So, in the absence of anything to see, what shall you call it? It's neither a seer nor it's seen. It cannot be seen by anybody. It is not a seer of anything because there is nothing to see other than it. And if you name it seer, it comes in the realm of thoughts, not its own place. So that is the subject, eternally the subject, never object to objectification. This is permanently objectified. In between, your body, sense organ and your thoughts are subject-object, subject-object. Whereas that one is the subject, this is permanent object. In reality, that one also, yourself, you cannot call the subject because when there is nothing to see, nothing to be aware of, what shall you call it? Nothing. So you can call yourself subject, did not call yourself subject, choice is yours. But your thought level, subject-object, body, sense organ level, subject-object, creation is only object. And when the subject and object get married, that is the problem. That is when I thought. I thought gets married to the other thoughts or other objects, problem begins. That is why, because of your ignorance, that is your first marriage. Because you are married to the ignorance, now you tend to marry everything in the universe and get into problem. You want to solve the problem, have the divorce first. Where is the divorce? The original divorce from the ignorance, Miss Maya. You are divorced from Miss Maya. Once you divorce from Miss Maya, you are happy with yourself. Thereafter, get married to the whole universe. Doesn't make any difference. But Miss Maya, you must divorce. Okay? You cannot hang on to that, having divorced. Thereafter, which one you should marry? You choose. No problem. No problem. Thereafter, the relationship is a living in partner relationship. Miss Maya gone, no? Thereafter, living partner. For some time with the body, for some time with the creation, then partners drop out, you are with yourself, finish. Are you getting that? It's absolutely beautiful. So, and until you fix this original marriage, the marriage in the world will not be working out that gracefully because you are so confused. So be aware of yourself. Okay, we shall see. With this happy note of marriage and divorce, let's end this session. We shall see next time. Close your eyes, please.